Everything you see here is a piece of Aquila City's history. Welcome to the Co-Heritage Museum. I offer a brief tour, and I'm happy to discuss the city's history as well. Very well. People are proud of their history here, so we get more visitors than I was expecting. So it gets pretty busy here, especially with school field trips. Aquila City was founded over 150 years ago by Solomon Coe, a scientist and explorer from Earth. Along with other settlers, Coe built the structures you see in the part of the city we call the core. Those proud buildings still stand today. The planet was dangerous, so they built a wall around their settlement. Eventually, they ran out of space and started building outside the wall. There were so many buildings that they had to build another, larger wall, forming a second outer ring around the growing city. Of course, the city didn't stop growing, and before long, the third wall, the outer wall you see today, was constructed. Today, Aquila City is the proud capital of the Freestar Collective, and the Council of Governors continues to meet here when they need to. Most people know Solomon Coe as the founder of Aquila City and the father of the Freestar Collective. He was an astrophysicist who lived on Earth in a place called Wyoming. Solomon was born around the time people first started living in space. Later in life, he designed starships, and when Earth was in peril, those ships helped to save humanity by taking them to new homes in the stars. The bravery and heroism it took to save humanity. Whew, goosebumps. During the Great Exodus, Solomon came to this world. He named our star Cheyenne, which was also a place on Earth, and gave Aquila its name too. He and some others built the settlement that would go on to become Aquila City, and his descendants still live here today. There are some things I would kill to have. I mean, wait, not literally. But I would pay a lot for. You see, the Coe family lost a treasure trove of old historic documents ages ago. And those documents would be priceless to have here.
Huh. Those old things.
Well, all of them were owned by our city's founder, Solomon Coe. He's more than that, really. He's one of the greatest heroes of the settled systems. These documents would be, like I said, priceless to the museum and to our guests. Their absence pains me. Jacob Coe and I have talked at length, and his great-grandfather was a troubled man. He sold off various historic documents to cover debts. They could be anywhere.
Troubled is a charitable way of putting it. Great-grandpa was a walking disaster. He almost lost everything, family estate included. Those documents she's talking about, they're real. We even have a few that survived.
Your father donated what was left to the museum.
Jacob did what? I didn't think charity was in his vocabulary.
If you find any of that trove of documents, I will pay dearly for it. Thank you. Think of the future generations that could benefit from seeing such important history. That is not something I expected to hear today. I assume you're somehow associated with the United Colonies? I've received some odd messages of late. Most in the collective aren't overly fond of MAST or the UC in general. I tend to share that sentiment. Lost a cousin in the colony war, you know.
Hey, I get it, but we have to collectively let go of this feud with the UC. And besides, this is really just about a tree and someone who is really, really attached to it.
Are you defending the UC? I must say, I expected more from a Coe. Well, I'm afraid you've wasted your time because I'm not authorized, nor particularly inclined, to release any of our pieces. That includes 100-year-old tree branches. Sorry, but it's staying in storage. Please feel free to have a look around. I hear what you're saying, but I'm afraid it's out of the question. I guess I don't want to impede anything important. I'm no fan of the UC, but I still don't want anyone to get hurt. I can't believe I'm doing this. Please return it in one piece.
Hey, Deputy.
A lot of famous people visit Aquila. Popping back up here, you never know who you'll meet.
Hey, I wondered when you might come by. I'm Alex. Nia's report said you were heading for Neon? I've always wanted to go there. What did you think? Yeah, I bet. It just sounds so exciting and so stimulating. Probably makes Aquila City look like the more boring backwater town in the settled systems by comparison. Alas, I'll have to experience it vicariously through you and the other rangers. So how'd it go? Turn up anything useful? Did he now? Well, in that case, challenge accepted. It's only a matter of time before I know every dirty little secret stored in this thing. Now, if you get any more of these, bring them to me. It helps if I can compare different instances of the encryption they're using. Just look for me up here. I have no life, so I'm not usually hard to find. You're counting on me. You know I outrank you, right? Please and thank you go a long way when addressing your betters, rookie.
Let's talk. Welcome back. Any luck finding out who stole that ship from Hope Tech? Glad you got a chance to meet him. Sounds like you're making real progress. You're off to a good start, but that's all it is. A start. What did you learn from this starship thief? Well done, Deputy. Sounds like you've got a couple of new leads to follow up on. I have a guess who Marco might be. I served with Maya Cruz. She's a technical genius and an expert hacker. I could give you some background if you want it, or we can go straight to planning your next move. There was a mech driver in the 1st Cavalry named Marco Graziani. He came from money, and when the 1st Cav got a reputation as the top unit, he transferred in. Rumor was that bribes made it happen. Marco had a knack for getting hold of anything we needed. There was talk the family fortune came from smuggling, and I believe it. He had this dream to become a wealthy businessman when he got out. But I guess that got put on hold when they locked him up. They said she was a child prodigy, which probably explains her arrogance. Even so, she was fiercely loyal to Major Hull. I don't think she'd ever give him up. If you find her, don't expect her to cooperate. Like what? Most likely place would be the clinic. It's in Freestar Collective space and provides the best medical services credits can buy. They also guarantee privacy, so it's an ideal place for someone trying to keep a low profile. Ranger Ben Armistead is posted there. I'll send him an update on the situation. Around the time he got out of jail, we started hearing Marco's name in circulation. Word is he's heading up a smuggling racket. Based on what you've learned, I'd presume he's funneling his ill-gotten gains to the First. Ranger Autumn McMillan is out at Red Mile right now, looking into the smuggling operation. I suggest you pool your resources. Just remember, that's outside Freestar Collective space, so we've got no jurisdiction there. Your priority is to gather more intel about the First. What are they planning? Who are they working for? Where are they headquartered? Just remember that your targets were locked up because they were loyal to their unit. They think the Freestar Collective betrayed them. In other words, you ain't gonna get a warm welcome, so be careful. Good hunting, Deputy.
Really an honor to be able to help out.
Home sweet home.
Respect priority docking for emergency. You are cleared to dock at the clinic, the best medical facility in the settled systems.
Tried Aurora?
Well, yeah, not in a long time, sweetheart. Not since you were born.
What was it like?
Terrible. It was terrible. You stay away from that stuff, Cora. Trust me, it's the worst.
Airlock integrity looks good.
How can I be of service,
Ma'am, I'm
Captain?
just the courier.
I understand that. I'm not blaming you directly. Dr. Salvato, how long have you been here?
About a year now, Doctor.
And in that year, how many times have we had this conversation about late or missing shipments of supplies?
I believe this is the third time.
Yes, that sounds right. 3 times.
Need some work done?
I will be making it very clear to your superiors that lives are at stake, and the clinic requires reliable transport. If your company cannot meet our needs, someone else will.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Thank you, Dr. Salvato. You may return to your duties.
Thanks for delivering critical supplies would be nice to hear once in a while. I hate this delivery run. Can't ever get here fast enough.
Hey, what can I do for you?
Welcome to the clinic. I'm Dr. Darvish, Chief of Medicine. Is there something I can do for you? Are you? Because I don't have any appointments scheduled. We have a particular focus on astrovirology here, so the patients we take on tend to have unusual cases that require long-term care, and sometimes require unorthodox or experimental treatments. We have an excellent track record that speaks for itself, but it doesn't leave room for much else. Whatever business you may be here for, I trust that you will conduct it quickly, and do so without interfering with my staff or our operations. Would you now? Well, I suppose we could always use additional research specimens. The more data we have about what's out there in the settled systems, the faster we can diagnose novel illnesses. In theory, at least. I suppose we could consider you an independent contractor of sorts. There are naturally occurring antimicrobials in both alien flora and fauna that we can learn from. If you can provide some additional samples, there are credits in it for you. What we're looking for are basic organic substances. They could come from any number of flora or fauna on countless worlds across the settled systems. Just keep your eyes open as you travel and harvest things when you find them. Or frankly, if you can find them at a reasonable price somewhere, purchase them. I'm less concerned with the source than the materials themselves. There's certainly no shortage. All right then.
If they haven't rushed me back, it can't be that bad, right?
Mind your step.
Whatever you do, don't let anyone in here sneeze on you. That happened.
Oh, well, that's appreciated. There really isn't anything you're qualified to do in here. No offense, of course. But, I do have some data requests from other facilities in the settled systems. Everyone always wants to know what we're up to. Usual courier has been less than reliable lately, so if you could get this slate where it needs to go, that would help us, and put a few credits in your pocket. Take care of yourself.
Can't wait till I can rotate out of here.
Doctor, I'm just a computer guy. You need medical help, you'd better talk to someone else.
Well, yeah, somebody has to. It's great medical care, but not the latest in support tech. Funding only goes so far, and most of it's prioritized for keeping patients alive. And there's still a lot of outdated UC tech behind the walls that needs interfacing, so I stay plenty busy. Well, then I'd be out of a job, wouldn't I? You're not entirely wrong, though. But someone would have to convince Dr. Darvish it was a priority, and I gave up on that effort years ago. Oh, you're not familiar? I'll give you the quick version. UC built the station back in 2194. It was outside of their established territory, which caused a bit of a disagreement and a bit of a war. And after what I think most people would agree was much too long a period of time, the war ends. One of the terms was the station was handed over to the Free Star Collective. Not that many really good reasons for war, are there? I think it was more about the UC expanding into systems they didn't own. The principle of the thing, not the station itself. So since then, the clinic's been under Free Star Collective control. Over 100 years now, I think. Over time, it started to focus more on weird things people picked up on all sorts of planets and space expeditions, became known for it, and now focuses on it almost exclusively. And here we are today, carrying on that work. Actually makes me feel kind of proud when I lay it all out like that. All right, see you around.
I'm no hypochondriac, but maybe we limit our time here with all the sick people.
You're clearly in the wrong room. Are they letting just anyone into patients' rooms now?
Need to make sure those files are backed up. You had a chance to talk to Dr. Cassidy. Really fun guy.
Are you the courier? You're not really supposed to be back here. You can just drop the delivery off by the docking port and someone will take care of it. Well, then you won't have Dr. Darvish breathing down your neck at least. But, well, we're not really set up for having folks just milling about in here. It is a medical facility after all. If you could just do your best to steer clear of the doctors while they work and not interrupt things, I'd really appreciate it. And if you need anything, I'm right here, okay? Oh, sometimes, sure. Somebody walks in or is dragged in with something we haven't seen before. You best believe it's all hands on deck. Have to find out if it's lethal or contagious, or both. It can be, yes. But we've all learned to live with it. If we didn't do this, who knows how many lives would be lost. It's harder on the newer folks, that's for sure. You take that Dr. Salvato, nice man, but he's a little on the skittish side. He's a good doctor, but just needs a little more confidence, you know? Oh, aren't you a dear? No, he'll do just fine. He just needs some time. Actually, now that we're talking about this, I wanted to do something nice for him. Give him a little pick-me-up. I overheard something about a meal he hadn't had in a long time. Thought maybe if I could deliver one to him, it'd be a nice gesture. You think you could help with that? Aren't you just the sweetest? You know that Don's Roost restaurant in New Atlantis? The fancy one? Dr. Salvato was talking about the synth liver pate. Said he'd never forget it. You bring me a plate and I'll make sure we brighten up his day.
I could really bend your ear when you got a moment. So how much of a thrill has it been traveling with the one and only last descendant of the great Solomon Coe? Is it everything you imagined?
Thanks for asking, Rebecca. This year has really flown by.
Ain't you ever heard of sarcasm, friend? Okay, so how's it traveling with one of the great Coes? That better? Well, that's a first. I gotta say, it's a relief being with you. So many people hear Coe and they expect me to pull some miracle out of a hat. Time has a way of just building on itself. Solomon was a good man. Great one, even. But if he ever heard all the bullshit being talked about him these days, he'd flat out deck him. There's books about him, lots of them. All right, a couple of high notes. He was one of the first grav jump explorers, back when they had no idea of the dangers. First solo jump out of Sol System, all him. He explored all the planets in Cheyenne and settled Aquila. Plus he formed the whole Freestar Collective with Voli. So, as you can see, the names got some serious heft. I am. And I'm not. Yeah, there was a time, well before Cora, where it really weighed on me. Felt like every little thing I did or didn't do was a reflection on our great legacy. It's enough to drive you crazy. Now I just hope I can help Cora to... I don't know. Well then, Cora's gonna get a 5-star university education from me. For my father, Cora, and me, everything starts and ends with Solomon Coe. He looked out at the stars and he dreamed a way to get there. Imagine being the first person to jump into a new system, set foot on a new world. Well, I get it. That's powerful stuff. And now... I'm just getting sappy. You're a bad influence, you know that? You say the damnedest things. Well, I hope the comic book they make about our adventures is better than that rag on Solomon. The stuff they publish is just downright embarrassing.
Every new alien pathogen we discover is just a little more job security.
This place is a far cry from nice talking to you.
dear. You doing all right?
I actually met a guy who finished the Red Mile. He lost an eye in the process, but he did walk away with a pile of credits. And I mean, you got 2 eyes, right?
I remember my first.
Between you and me, this place sees some weird cases. Gross ones, too. Yeah? Got some trouble? Oh, now hold on a minute. You're the new deputy, ain't you? Yeah, the marshal's been sending out reports, keeping us all in the loop in your investigation. And having some success, by the sound of it. Ben Armistead, pleased to meet you. Well, I guess that's the long and short of it. You're the newest member of the Rangers, and I'm the oldest.
How you doing, old man?
Well, I'll be a dust wrangler's cousin, Sam Coe. Oh, it's been too damn long. Why, Cora must be what, 9, 10 years old by now?
I wish. She's 12.
Almost a teenager? My goodness. And here I thought I had enough gray hairs already. So, are you back?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm just out here to watch the deputies back and see what kind of trouble we can get into.
I see. Well, back to the matter at hand, then. So, is one of them first mercenaries here at the clinic? Well, every ranger knows it's important to trust your instincts. No better place in the settled systems to get medical treatment. You can bet it beats anything them UC piglets got. Ironic, given they're the ones who built it. I know just the man who can help you. Right this way, deputy. Just between you and me, I ain't entirely sure why someone felt the need to station a ranger out here. I'm not much more than a glorified bodyguard for Dr. Darvish. She's the one in charge around here. And she's also on the Council of Governors. Most of the staff don't seem fond of the idea of me being here, and I ain't fond of them right back. Bunch of stuffy eggheads, if you ask me. Except Ari, that is. He's about the only one I can have a conversation with. Now, hey there, Ari. Working hard or hardly working?
Hey, Chief. A little more the former than the latter. What brings you by?
Well, the deputy here could use some help. Came looking for someone who might be a patient.
Your next stop wouldn't be the Caribbean system, would it?
Well,
We got a
I'll leave
report of
you
a
in Mr.
distress call
Miller's
out there.
capable hands.
But we don't have the shift to send someone that far out.
Of course, dear. I remember my first few years. If Ben hadn't been assigned here,
You
I
know,
might go.
just by breathing the air in here, you are being exposed to about a dozen different viruses.
Probably.
It'd be enough.
I'll try to help you, but our computer systems have been having some issues.
Have it be my own husband. So comforting.
But we don't give the patients free access to our computer system, so I doubt that's related. Still, it's worth keeping in mind. So who's the suspect you're after? Former soldier, huh? Yeah, they say war changes people forever. Makes me sad, the thought of soldiers who come home and don't fit in anymore. The name's not ringing any bells, but maybe we can approach this another way. Do you know what was wrong with her? That should help narrow things down. I can access the patient records from my terminal, assuming the database cooperates. Come on.
You need anything, just say the word. One of the docs will get you right as rain in no time. Holding up all right, dear?
Just 1 week without something weird.
Really,
That's
you
not
don't
too
need to
much to
worry.
ask.
I've got a year under my belt.
Okay, give me just a minute here.
Sure. Getting used to it is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Maya Cruz. Maya Cruz. Come on, Maya. I need you to be in here. Okay, finally. Here we go. Oh. No matches found for a Maya Cruz.
Be careful if you run into those ecliptic jerks.
If Maya's here, then she's got to be using an alias. Which actually makes a lot of sense if she's a wanted woman.
You know, the ones left over from the colony war?
Yeah. Let me think for a second. All right, hang on. I know that we do have a few female patients staying with us. There's Candace... what's her last name? Doolin. Candace Doolin. And then there's the Nakamori woman. I think her name's Jane. I don't recall offhand what they're here for, but it's a start.
I think one of us should ask, just for fun.
You're welcome to use the Ranger Station terminal. I'll enable admin access for you.
Tell me you don't want to know.
Dr. Doggers has it under control. I know she doesn't
If we all start growing
Hey there,
second heads
Deputy.
or something, my credits are on what's going on in there.
Catalina Rivera. I know the name. Just give me a second to think. I remember she was rushed into surgery right after arriving, seemed to be in pretty bad shape. She must have some serious credits, because she was moved to the VIP wing after the procedure. Think of it as high-end care, with bigger rooms, better food, and more amenities. Cost a fortune, of course. The VIP wing also provides privacy, and that's why only a select few staff members are allowed in. Dr. Cassidy's in charge of the VIP wing. You need his permission to enter. Unfortunately, he's a real stickler for the rules, and the rules say no visitors without prior arrangement. You didn't hear this from me, but I happen to know that he keeps a spare access card somewhere in his office. Hope that helps you.
Never a dull moment.
We get the cases no one has ever seen before or doesn't know how to treat.
I don't mean to be rude, but unless this is a medical emergency, I'm sure there's someone else that can help you. If you need assistance, please see our email.
You heard that, right? Action time! You made that look easy. How do you even manage to carry all that?
Hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results. Captain, greetings.
Your ship, Doc. If you are who I think you are, then you're here to bring me in. I have to warn you, I've had more than enough time to prepare for this. So either you leave now, or I'll be burying what's left of you.
Sure, just keep grabbing everything. What could go wrong? tough animal parts sometimes.
Today's not gonna be your day now.
I used to pretend to be a funny robot for Cora when she was young. Mr. Beep used to crack her up. I don't know why, but I think this would be a hell of a place for a seance. Knock once if you hear us, spirits. No? Hope you don't mind, I'll let you skim that one. Cora was big into rock collecting when she was 8. Not so much anymore. Is all that junk really necessary?
Well, what are you waiting for? Finish it. Because that's what we were hired to do. The pay was good, too. But the best part was getting to stick it to the people who turned their backs on us. I can't wait until you find out. Of course it is! We spent 20 years behind bars because our leaders got scared and called off our attack just when we had the battle won. And did the people of the Freestar Collective that we fought and died for come to our defense? No! They did nothing. Nothing! Well, now they can die. Just like most of our unit did. Fine. I ain't feeling conversational anyway. Yeah. We've got a base, a good one, too. Spent months of my life getting that place up and running. As for where it is, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. You might not think so now, but it's likely to end up that way. How about I make this real simple for us both? I've got maybe a few weeks to live, and I ain't spending them behind bars. You want to put an end to me here and now? Then fine. Get it over with. Life's kicked me around enough as it is. But if you want to let me die on my own terms, then leave me in peace. I've been abused or abandoned by everyone I ever got close to. Gave up on people and put my faith in machines instead. Wasn't until I came to the 1st Cavalry and met Major Hull that I felt I could trust someone again. Well, how about a test? Rangers are known to be handy with a gun. But here's a problem you'll have to solve with your brain instead. I've encrypted this slate. If you can crack it, you'll learn something useful. Now get out of here and leave me in peace.
I feel for the folk in the stretch. I try and give a credit or two to the Low House when I'm able.
Got into a tussle with a Shaw Gang smuggling ship in Kodos orbit. Had to limp back to Aquila City, with my ride mostly in one piece. It was a bit of a hard landing, you might say. Got a few broken ribs and a concussion. Turns out one of those ribs punctured a lung. Had a breathing tube in for a spell, but that's gone now. Seems I'm healing up pretty good. Yeah, of course. Everyone knows a thorologic tube is the right approach for that problem. That's it then?
Diego Monroe, at your service.
Just making my way.
These Rangers are some hard-blooded folk.
Might be hard work, but it sure beats them.
Hey there, Deputy. Way I hear it, you've been keeping busy jumping from one side of the Freestar Collective to the other. How do you like the job so far? That's good to hear. So, what brings you by? Well, well, what do we have here? Well, this is new. Very interesting indeed. I'll see what I can do. If you can get me another one of these, it'll give me more context for the encryption and should speed things up. In the meantime, you be careful out there, Deputy. From what I've heard, these mercs mean business.